To do is I want certain things to be in the training film. So I want everybody to pretend that you're here with your significant other. Who in this room is married? So when I call on you, act like you're here with your wife and introduce yourself and your wife. Does that make sense?
Couple up, women and men, couple up.
No, I want everybody to be there. No, I don't want couples.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
I want them to pretend their spouse is sitting right next to them.
Gotcha.
Does everybody see what I'm saying? So, like, what's your name, sir?
George.
What's your wife's name?
Diane.
So you say, I'm George, this is Diane. Where you from?
Yeah.
You follow me? All right. The other thing is, when I get to the point where I ask if anybody in the room owns, Alex, I want you to say that you own. I don't care where. Pick a place that you own at mentally. You know what I'm saying? And then I want you to tell me that that you love your ownership. It's great.
Gotcha.
Jake, if you will, own somewhere different, and say you're on. It's okay. Some things I like, some things I don't. Does everybody see what I'm saying? So I want speakers to be able to see how to respond to that. And then when I get to any questions, if you guys have general questions, that's fine. I don't want any crazy left field questions, you know, that you don't get that much of. And then, Jake, when I open up for questions at the end of the points presentation, just ask about maintenance fees. Just say, you guys have maintenance, how does that work? So I can answer that. And then Doogie, when I get to, when I'm doing my old versus new, and I talk about FTX, ask me how the FTX works.
Okay.
Because I want the speakers to see how they respond to that.
You want me to go maintenance fees after you're done?
Yeah, I'll open it up after I do all the points layouts and talk about acceleration and perpetuity and all that. When I open it up for questions, if I have any questions, say, yeah, how about your maintenance fees? How much? Say, how much are your maintenance fees? Okay?
And you guys take notes and any questions that you have, just write them down.
All right, is it filming now?
Yep.
Okay. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Come on, good afternoon, everybody. Guys, my name is Mike Stacey on behalf of my company, the Festive Hospitality Group. I want to invite you guys in here today to talk about our product, which is, roll this out here and get it started, the Festive Adventure Club. Now we're going to do this a little bit different. Normally when you go to most companies, they'll have an individual guest representative pick you up, just like the one that picked you up, kind of show you the program one-on-one. Here we like to do it more in this group format because we find that it's really different in two ways. First, it actually makes it more interesting because the families over here, you guys, will get to hear the questions that these families ask. You know, they might be different from what you were thinking. And you folks over here, you'll get to hear the responses that these folks give, and it might be different from your responses. So we can all learn how this works together. It makes it more interesting and more fun. Secondly, more importantly, it makes it go a heck of a lot quicker. Is that okay with you guys? Absolutely. Yeah, you new best friend, ain't it? Okay, the easiest way I found to get this going is to give you a little introduction to me and let you know who you're dealing with. My name is Mike Stacey. I'm 43 years old. I've been single my entire life, but I got married last year in September to my beautiful wife, Susan. We're not from around here. We're from a little town in East Tennessee called Sevierville. It's near Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, the Great Smoky Mountains, if you've ever been there. I've owned with this product that I'm going to share with you for almost 3.5, 4 years, and I've been an employee here a little over 3 years. And me and Susan and her son Brandon, well, my son now, we vacation probably anywhere from 20 to 25 nights a year. Okay? Now, I would like to get to know who you are. So as I go around the room and I acknowledge each family or couple, if one of you will just be the spokesperson, just introduce yourself just by first names. We're going to keep it casual. Tell me where you're from. And then the last thing I'd like to know, since we are here to talk about vacations and adventure, I'd like to know how many nights a year your family vacations. But I want to be very specific what I'm asking. I don't want to know how many paid weeks of vacation you get every year if you don't go anywhere. You're just sitting in the house, that doesn't count, okay? And I also don't want to know if you're going to mom and dad's house or if you're going to the kids, and if you're camping out on their couch, you're calling that a vacation. That's a visitation, not a vacation. I want to know when you're doing what you're doing right now. I want to know when you're pulling that hard-earned money out of your family's pocket and you're going somewhere nice to enjoy your family. Fair enough? And we'll start with this couple right here, sir.
Hi, my name's Tim. This is my wife Debbie, and we're from New York City.
Okay. And how many nights a year do you do, Tim? You and Debbie?
Oh gosh, about 10 days.
About 10 nights a year? Okay, that's awesome. Welcome. Sir?
Yeah, my name is George, and this is my wife Diane. We're originally from Boston. We're down here vacationing right now, and we like to vacation maybe 3-4 times a year, maybe a week at a time.
So 3 to 4 weeks, so anywhere from 20 to 30 nights a year. Okay, awesome. Awesome, welcome. A couple back here.
Hi, my name is Chuck Kelly. My wife Caroline, we live in Stanton, Virginia, in the Shenandoah Valley. And we vacation probably 2 weeks a year.
About 14, 15 nights a year.
Yes.
Okay, awesome, welcome. Right here.
My name is Jake, and this is Zanady. Been married about 15 years. I vacation about 14 days a year.
About 14 days. And where are you guys from, sir?
We're from West Virginia, by God.
Awesome. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you here today. And right here.
My name is Christy. Oh, and my husband and I, we like to travel about a week every year.
About 7 nights a year. And where are you guys from, Christy?
We're from Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Okay, awesome. Welcome. Right here.
My name's Jackie, and my husband Ted and I like to travel about 4 months out of the year.
About 4 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Now, is it actually costing you money? Or is some of that time that you're spending with family? Or I mean, because if you're doing 120 days, that's great. But is it actually 120 days that you're spending money?
Renting apartments.
So you're renting condos, renting apartments. Okay, your family really needs to pay attention today.
Mexico was the last place.
Mexico, awesome. Right back here.
My name is Alex, and this is my wife Andrea. We've been together for about 3 years now. Right?
Yeah.
We're from Charlotte, and we like to do about 28 days, but typically about like 21 right now.
So you're doing about 21 days a year? Okay, awesome. So, just going around this little room, we see everybody's a little bit different. We saw as little as, I think, 10 nights a year, up to maybe as much as 3 or 4 months a year, 100, 120 nights. The great thing is about our company is we're designed to be good for all of you, okay? And I'm going to get into that more here in just a minute. Who in this room owns timeshare, owns their own product, owns a vacation somewhere? Okay, right here, sir.
Wyndham?
You own with Wyndham?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, how long have you owned?
About 2 years now, almost.
Okay.
Down in Edisto.
What's that?
Down in Edisto.
Down at Edisto at Wyndham. Okay, awesome. And where would you say is the best vacation you and your wife have ever gone with it?
I like the Gatlinburg a lot. We also have one in Myrtle Beach too.
You have 2.
With them, yeah.
Where's your ownership in Myrtle Beach?
Now, I can't quite remember though.
Okay, how long have you had that one?
About less than a year now.
Okay. Would you say overall you're happy with your ownership?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
We went back and got more, so.
All right, awesome. And this family over here own? Where do you folks
Yeah,
own?
we own at Bonaventure, Weston, Florida.
Okay.
We've owned for about 4 years.
Okay.
We're on the fixed week program.
All right. Where would you say the best vacation you've ever gone with your family?
The best place that I've actually had an opportunity to trade to was in Hawaii. We actually enjoy that very much.
Okay, awesome.
The studio is nice.
That's great. Would you say you're happy with your ownership?
I am. I'm thoroughly impressed. I like the own fixed week program so I can know when I can go.
Okay.
It'd be nice if there was more flexibility.
Okay. So there's some things that could be a little bit better?
There's some things that could be improved.
Okay, just like anything else.
That's correct.
I want to congratulate both of you families. And the reason I'm congratulating them is because they own already and they've done a wonderful thing. And you guys will understand more why as I get into our product that I'm congratulating them even though they don't own with us. Now, has anybody else in here ever taken a timeshare presentation? Has anybody here ever gone on a presentation somewhere? Okay, so just about everybody in the room. So everybody in this room has a pretty good idea of what timeshare is, right? You guys probably have an idea of what it is I'm kind of getting ready to show you, right? And you probably also have an idea of the format or the way I'm going to show it to you, right? Wrong. You guys are in for a real treat today because first off, we're a totally different kind of company. We've only been around about 11 years now, but our company, actually this is our 12th year. Our company has been so successful in 12 short years because this is what we focus on. Smiling, happy families on vacation. We firmly believe that the reason that your family reaches into your pocket, pulls out your hard-earned money and goes somewhere is to get that all-important quality time with the people you love most. Do you guys agree with that basic premise?
Absolutely.
And that's what our company's built on. And that's all we want to talk about today. But we're not like other companies. We don't want to talk to you about you doing our plan. We want to talk about us doing your plan. We want to talk about your vacations and where you like to go, the places you were telling me about earlier. We want to talk about your dreams and the places you haven't been yet that you still want to go and how to make that possible. And most importantly, we want to talk about your money and what it's costing you to get there your way versus how much better it could be our way. why we're so different and why the product's so different. As far as how it's going to be shown to you, you guys are in for a real treat this morning because the guy they picked to show it to you is plumb crazy. I show this differently than anybody's ever shown it before because I understand what it's like to be sitting in those seats right now. Because 5 years ago, me and my then girlfriend Susan, who's now my wife, our family was your family. A little over 4 and a half years ago, we came down to Myrtle Beach, me, her, and Brandon, just to get away from the Smokies for a weekend. While we were in town, my stepson Brandon saw this boat go flying down the water with a big old parachute up in the air with people swinging from it. They call it parasailing. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Does anybody in the room ever parasailed? Anybody at all? Several of you have. Did you enjoy it?
It's fun, yeah.
Did you enjoy it, sir?
I was a little afraid to tell you the truth.
Did you like it overall?
Yeah, pretty good.
You liked it? Did you guys like it?
She did, I did.
Okay. So these two gentlemen and this lady over here, they seem like really nice people, but they're either crazy or they're liars. Because the only thing fun for me was getting back down the boat and getting out.
I agree, yes.
But I'm teasing you guys because our son Brandon and Susan absolutely loved it. But that's really how all this started for me. That's why I'm in front of you here today. Because we wanted to go parasailing. So we walked up to this booth, big sign, parasailing tickets. So that's where you go to buy the tickets, right? I go up there, I buy tickets, and this guy gets to talking to me. And before I know it, he's going to give me the tickets for free. He's even going to throw in a couple of free extra nights. Or a couple of dinner tickets so we can go eat dinner. The only thing is, I've got to go spend a little time on a presentation. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Yeah, it still works good today, doesn't it? That's how we get you in here. So I know exactly what you're coming in expecting. I know what you're thinking about. I know what you're concerned about. I know what you're worried about. I've done this, like I said, for about 3.5, 4 years now. I've talked to probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of families just like yours. And I assure you that everyone that ever comes in here has basically the same 3 questions on their mind that you have right now. And I know what 3 questions are on your mind because 5 years ago, they were on mine and Susan's mind. We're going to talk about them right now. I'm going to show you right now that I know exactly what you're thinking. The first question that each of you have is how long is this blame thing really going to take? Am I right? What do we mean by approximately 120 minutes? Is that going to be 4, 5, 6, or 7 hours? You didn't really want to laugh at that one, did you? Guys, we're not here to keep you all day. We're definitely not here to hijack your family's vacation. All right? You guys are in for a treat because we're doing it in this format. Because my part up here is going to be about 30, 35, 40 minutes. All right? If you're still here in 120 minutes, it's because you want to be here. It's because you see a value for your family. You're sticking around and asking questions to find out more. Just like these 2 families here did. Fair enough? That kind of leads into question number 2. And that's, exactly what's going to take place while we're in here. How's this going to work? Well, I bet most of you get the basic idea. This is a sales presentation. Does everybody realize that? We have brought all of you in here, and I'm going to show you how awesome our product is, what it's done for all of our owners, and what it's going to do for you and your families. And when we get done, we're going to ask every single one of you to buy one. All 7 families to buy. Does that surprise anybody? No, it doesn't surprise you. You knew it on the way here today, didn't you? What's funny is when you know that on the way here, it plays a little trick with your mind. Let me tell you what it did to me and Susan and Brandon. 4.5, 5 years ago, I'm at that booth with the parasailing tickets. They gave me a little pass. Go check out Festiva. We jumped in the car, we drove all the way over here. We pulled up at the beautiful front gate out here. As we're pulling in, Brandon starts in on me and Susan. Hey, Mom, hey, Dad, this place is nice. We gonna stay here tonight? How come you don't put us up in places like this? What were we gonna do? Because this place was beautiful. And it wasn't even fully developed yet. They just had phase 1 over there back then. So we pulled in and we got parked. My head's spinning from all these questions Brandon's asking me. So we get out of the car, and remember, me and Susan weren't married at this point. We actually kind of just started dating. This was really our first vacation anywhere. So I got out of the car, I grabbed Susan by the hand, Brandon by the hand, and we had a little prayer circle right there in the parking lot. Here's what I said to him. I said, now listen to me very carefully, guys. I'm going to explain something to you. We're going to go in this building in here, and they're going to try to sell us something. Make no mistake, we are not buying it. Don't look at it, don't like it, don't come out and ask any questions. Everybody in the room is kind of looking at each other, right? Like, how do you know? Was he in the car on the way here with us today? Guys, I know you did it because we did it. Everybody that comes in here does it. It's natural. It's okay that you did it. Because when we go to a sales presentation, what's the first thing we do? We lock up and get our story straight, don't we? Here's why we're not doing it. You buy everything you ever lay your eyes on. You keep your mouth shut and I'll do all the talking. Am I right? All right. All I ask, guys, is now that we know that, let's just set that to the side. I only ask one thing for the next 35 minutes. I ask everyone in this room to give me the common human decency of keeping an open mind. Can you all do that? Will it hurt you to take a look at what we have to offer? No, it won't hurt. And when I get done, I promise you this. Everyone will be very impressed by our product. And here's my promise to you. Here's how easy I'm going to make it on you. If you give me an open mind, when I get done, I'm going to ask all 7 of you to buy one of these. 3 or 4 of you in the room are going to say, Mike, this is awesome. Sign us up right now. The other 3 or 4 couples in the room are going to say, Mike, this is awesome, but we're going to have to pass. And I don't care which answer you give me, either one is completely acceptable. Is that fair enough with everybody for the ground rules?
Yes.
And that kind of leads into question number 3. And I saved this for last because this was my biggest question 5 years ago. How high pressure is this thing going to be? Anybody worried about that? How many times do we have to say, no, 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 no? How many different people are they going to bring over and make us tell no to? How big is their torture chamber out behind the 15th grade? Right? I told you we were a different kind of company. Let me show you why you're not going to have to worry about that today. Our company, Festiva, was founded in 2000 by 2 guys, Butch Patrick and Don Clayton. These 2 guys, at the time that they founded this company, they had experience in tons of other timeshare companies. They worked for big companies, they worked for small companies. And they knew 2 things. They knew the things that people loved about timeshare, like this family over here. And they also knew the things that people didn't like so much or wish were different, like this family over here. And they said, let's make a different kind of company. Let's make a company with just the good things. And for my money, in 12 short years, they pulled it off. Because they went from one little building here. This was their first resort. Probably you're lucky enough to be visiting today. They had one little building across the street that they started with. You know, that very first family that come in to take a chance on. And now, 12 years later, we've got over 70,000 families that own, use, and love this every single year. We've gone from just one resort to today 23 resorts, 12 catamarans, and we're still growing. You know, we're still adding properties and looking for more properties to add to benefit our owners and members. And then the last thing is, starting last year, we kind of turned a corner. Because now, over 50% of our business comes from our own owners. What I mean is, it's either our owners coming back in to buy more, because they want more exciting vacations for them and their family, or they're sending their friends and family in as referrals so they can get involved. And I don't know about you guys, but I believe that word of mouth is truly the best indicator of any business. You guys agree with me? It is. Guys, people love this. They don't only want to come back and get more, they want the people they care about to be able to get in on it. We're not going to do anything to mess up our good name and reputation by making you feel forced to buy something that you may not think you want. Okay? So when we get done, I'm going to make it real simple. If you want it, say, help me get it, and we'll help you. If you don't want it, say, I'm going to have to pass, and we'll help you get out the door and get back on vacation. Okay? And I can say that so firmly because just after working for this company for 3.5 short years, I've learned one thing. I can't worry about whether or not if your family does this. Because not everybody's going to qualify to be able to do it today. It really takes 3 things done with us, and they're 3 very simple things. The first thing is you would have to like it. Does everybody agree with that? If you don't like it, you're not even going to think about it, are you? Guys, this thing's so awesome, that's not going to be a problem. Everybody in this room, even the most skeptical person in this room, when I get done, is going to say, that's a great program. So the second thing is, you would have to be able to use it. Right? Well, we saw as little as 10 nights, as much as 100 nights. There's a wide variety just in the way these 7 families travel. When I get done, you're going to see that this thing is so flexible, so user-friendly, that it's going to work for every single one of you. Regardless of how little or how much you vacation, regardless of where you like to go, and most importantly, you don't have to change your way of vacationing. We're going to change our way of helping you. Okay? So that's never a problem. My experience in this business, it always comes down to number 3. And I'm going to be very blunt, but it's money. It's cash, affordability, whatever you want to call it, it always comes down to money. Because if these were free, all of you would grab 2 of them and run out the door. But they're not. They're expensive. I'll tell you that right up front. You shouldn't expect it not to be expensive when you see what it's going to do for you and your family. But once you see what it's going to do for you and your family, you'll see it's so much less expensive and a better value than what you're doing already. And that's why people become involved. Okay? So when we get done, if you like it, if you use it, and if we can make it affordable for your budget, we're going to sign you up today. I want to be very clear what I mean right here. Okay? I mean, if you like this, if you ever want to be a part of it, you have to do it right here, right now, today. Now, when they told me that 5 years ago, I didn't want to hear anymore. I turned my brain off. I shut down. I wasn't going to do anything today. Let me explain to you why it's that way. Okay? How did you folks get to be in here today? Somebody, one of those guys hawking people, kind of like they got me with the tickets. How about you folks?
Somebody called us.
Called you at home to telemarketing? Okay, we deal with about 15 different marketing companies. Some of them do the telemarketing over the phone. Some of them have ads on the internet. Some of them have the booths out in town. Their job is to get your attention and get you to come in here, which they've done because you're all here, right? Well, they don't do it for free. We have to pay them. What our company currently pays is $400 for every qualified guest. So, sir, that company that called you at home on the phone, they're getting $400 because you and your wife are here today. That person that talked to you guys down on the boardwalk, ma'am, $400. 400, 400, 400, 400, and 400. Everyone that ever comes through our door, it has cost us $400 for the privilege of showing this to you. Look at it from our point of view just for 1 second, from a business perspective. We paid good money to have you, correct? If you like it, if you use it, if the money's right, we want you to do it today. Does that make sense? Now, if you're not able to do it today, that's fine. We're not going to be mad at you. We're not going to be upset. We're going to thank you for coming in and get you the gifts you were promised and get you back on vacation. But if you don't do it today, we don't really ever want to see you again. Ever. Nothing personal, but we don't want to pay $400 to show it to your family tomorrow or next week or next month. Does that make sense to everybody? We want to show it to somebody brand new. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make it your best opportunity to ever get involved with us today with something awesome called First Visit Incentives. And I'll get into these more here in a minute, but they're exactly what they sound like, guys. They're incentives you get on your first visit to Festiva. I'm going to show all of you thousands and thousands of dollars of extras and bonuses that you'll get to become an owner today. I'm going to show all of you thousands and thousands of dollars of discounted pricing that you can actually take advantage of when you become an owner today. Okay, and it's real simple. Let's say that this couple right here, they decide to become our newest owner. Well, let's say that this family over here, for whatever reason, they decide to pass, and that's fine. But let's say that they get back to their hotel room tonight, or back home. And tomorrow morning they get up, and she's making him coffee, and she says, honey, you know, what'd you think about that thing we saw at Festiva yesterday? And he says, well, you know, it's pretty good. We could vacation more, stay in nicer places for less money, and go more often for less money. It was a pretty good deal. And what if she says to him, you know, it was more than a pretty good deal? After thinking about it all night and thinking about it this morning, that was a great deal. That would have been super. We should have done that. Go get the car. We're going back. So let's say that they load up in the car tomorrow. Let's say they come back 5 years from now. Doesn't matter. Whenever anyone has been here and then comes back, if we as a company let them have any of these incentives, and we tell everyone you can only get on your first visit. It's not up to us. We can't do it. We won't do it. We're not allowed to do it. So it just doesn't happen. Does everybody follow me? Because if I do that, I didn't just discriminate against this couple that did buy. I just discriminated against everybody that's ever walked through our front door. So it's not done. So, this is the hardest part of the whole presentation. If we get through the next 5 seconds, it's going to be smooth sailing. I got a pop quiz. Y'all ready? When we get done here in a few minutes, if you like this, if you would use it, and if it's affordable, we're going to sign you up when?
Today.
Everybody say it one time like you really mean it. When?
Today.
All right, let's check the answer. You're right. The easiest way I found to explain why so many people love this, and why so many people take advantage of it, is let's say that when you came in here today, that we weren't talking about vacations. Let's say that we had your dream home. Does everybody here have an idea what your dream home is? You know, how you build it, where you'd want it situated, the view you'd want, how you furnish it. What if you came in here and I had your dream home like I read your mind? Perfect, down to the tiniest detail. And I said, we got a deal on your dream home today. You can get your dream home from me today for, let's say $500 a month. Does that sound like a deal?
Yeah.
Who wants that deal? It's a good deal, right? All I got to know is how we're going to write it up. Do you want to pay me that $500 a month and rent the house from me? Or for the same $500 a month, would you rather have a deed and own that house? Would your family pick to rent or to own?
Own.
Oh, rent. I don't think I heard everybody. Rent or own, everybody.
Own.
Everyone says own. Does anybody say rent? Nobody. Somebody tell me why. Why would you rather own?
Ownership.
Ownership. It's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. You can use it, obviously, right? What else is important about owning? Anybody?
Sell it or?
You can sell it. You're building up equity because if you don't want to live there 10 years from now, you can turn around and sell it, can't you? If you rented that house from me for 10 years, what are you going to get when you move out?
A bill.
A bill. And I hurry up from a landlord. Let's say that 10 years from now, another thought, you don't want to live there anymore, but you don't want to sell it, what could you do?
Rent it.
You can rent it out. You can become the landlord. You can take somebody else's money because of what your family was smart enough to buy. And you know, with me and Susan, the nice thing about owning our home, if anything ever happens to us, we're gonna be able to hand this down to Brandon and will it to him. So he's gonna have that equity to help him get a start in his life since we're not gonna be around. The only thing we want to show you how to do today, guys, is to get all this for that vacation money that you're spending anyway. That 10 nights a year, that 100 nights a year, wherever you're at, that three weeks a year, that same money that you're spending anyway is rent. We want to show you how to get all this. Does that have any interest for anybody?
Yes.
You guys crack me up. I got two little mousy yeses over here. You got one guy back here shaking his head. Everybody else playing the statue game. Guys, it's okay. I thought I told you earlier, I don't care if you buy, I didn't ask for a credit card yet. You don't have to buy it yet. Okay? But I want to let you know a little secret. I've done this for 3.5 years now. Like I said, probably tens of thousands of families. I'm really good at this job. I'm so good that I can actually predict what's going to happen with every one of the 7 families in here. Would you like me to just go ahead and tell you what's going to happen? Okay, right now, you're still terrified of me. You're scared to death that Uncle Mikey's going to get you to buy something, so you're just sitting there all locked up. We've got a thing called sales resistance. It's filling this room up like a huge concrete wall. Can you feel it? Now, let's see what just happened. What I just said made a lot of sense and sounded interesting, didn't it? A couple of you got up on your tippy toes and looked over the wall. Now, if you really pay attention here in about 15 minutes, you're going to say heck with it, and you're going to slide the wall out of the way, because you're going to see a value for you and your family. You're going to step forward and you're going to start asking questions. The guest representatives that picked you up, they'll be available when we get done. They'll answer any individual questions you have. They'll show you how you and your family can use this for the vacations you're already doing. They'll show you the beautiful kind of accommodations you'll be able to be accustomed to going forward for the rest of your lives. And I want to warn you, be careful. Because if you're not, you're going to start liking it. Because it's going to make sense to stay more nights for less money. Does that make sense? It's going to make sense to stay in nicer places for less money. That makes sense, right? And it's going to make a lot of sense to have something that one day you can pay off, not have to pay on anymore, hand down to your kids and grandkids as a family legacy. Here in about 30 minutes, I'm going to have every single one of you right here in the palm of my hand. You're going to be sold. And then we're going to come back off this gorgeous property, and we're going to sit down and we're going to discuss money, and a real funny thing's going to happen. All of a sudden, none of you want it anymore. You can giggle. It's a train wreck when we sit down and talk about the money. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to start talking about your bills and your finances and this and that. Let's get one thing straight. Everybody in this room has their own bills and finances. Am I right?
Yep.
Everybody knows what comes in and what goes out, don't you?
Yep.
I told you guys I was different. I'm going to prove it to you. We're going to do the money part now. Okay? Everybody in this room probably has some type of budget. Probably got a house payment in there somewhere. If your home's paid off, God bless you. Probably got a car payment, maybe 2 car payments. We've all got credit card bills, children. If you've got kids, you know that's not even a big enough chunk of the pie. We've got utilities, everyday living expenses, taxes, got tithing for our church, and there's a sliver in here for vacations. Now for some of you doing 10 nights a year, that's probably a smaller sliver. If you're doing 100 to 120 nights a year, that's a lot bigger sliver. So everyone's amount is different. But I think we're all the same because we're all human beings. And I want to ask you a very sincere question, everybody in this room. Has anyone in this room ever just really needed to get away on vacation? You ever been that way when money's tight? Financially, it's not the best time to go, but if you don't get out of town, you're going to strangle somebody at work?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Has anybody here ever needed a vacation so bad, and money was so tight, that you just didn't make the house payment for 6 months and you went to Disneyland? No? Nobody?
Yes.
Let me, no. You really need this. But let me make sure. Nobody in this room has ever got home from vacation and had an eviction notice nailed to the front door, right?
No.
Nobody? Has anybody here ever got home from vacation and you saw a wrecker on your block, so you drove about 3 blocks down and hid your car behind a neighbor's house? Nobody afraid of the repo man? Anybody ever stop by Walgreens or Walmart, pick up candles and flashlight batteries in case the electric company paid you to visit while you were gone? Now you're all looking at me like, what the heck am I talking about, right? I'm talking about your bills and your finances. And here's what you've just told me. You're all smart, you're all intelligent, and you're all responsible. You would never do those things. They sounded crazy, didn't they? You know what that really means? That means every vacation you've taken, up to and including this one, you guys took, and you didn't hurt your budget. You didn't miss the house payment. You didn't miss the car payment. You didn't take food off the table. That's what you just told me. And the reality is, if vacations are truly important, it's going to be the same way going forward. And the reason I cover this so hard is because I know exactly what you're all going to want to do in about 20 or 25 minutes. You're going to do the same thing I did. We're going to come back off this gorgeous property. We're going to sit down and look at the money. And the panic is going to set into the back of your brain, just like it did me and Susan. And you're going to look at me and you're going to want to say, Mike, we got to be honest with you. We came in here, we had no intention of doing anything. But this is great. We don't just want this, we need it for our family. And we'd love to be your newest owner today, but you're ready to buy a house. You're ready to build a house. Got to remodel the house we live in. We got to buy a transmission for our other car when we get back home. Got credit card bills. Kids, that's where you can really wear us out right there. I've had women become pregnant right at the table before. You think I'm joking? I had one lady say, Mike, we'd love to do this, but we're going to be having a baby soon. I kid you not, the man sitting next to her like to broke his neck looking up at her. Apparently it was the first time he'd heard about it too. You know, Mike, we've got utility, we got all this stuff going on in our lives. Otherwise, we would love to be your newest owner today. Guys, let's all just agree to be friends. When we come back and we sit down and talk about the money, just say you like it or you don't like it. Okay? Don't bring any of this stuff up. I'm going to tell you why. If you bring this stuff up, this is really just a weak excuse. It really is. Because the only money that we want to talk about is right here. It's just your vacation money. None of this other stuff. All we're talking about is those 10 nights a year, those 20 nights a year, those 100 nights a year that you told me about that you're doing anyway. And we're just saying, if you're going to spend that money anyway, let's take it over here and get you all the rest of this. Okay? And I'm such a huge believer in this program because I've been around timeshare my entire life. When I was 9 years old, my dad took our family down to Disney for the very first time. And while we were in Florida, this is back in the 70s, my dad went on timeshare presentation. And they showed him how he could own his family's vacation, just like he owned his home. He thought it was the neatest thing he'd ever seen. So he jumped right in and he bought 1 week of timeshare. He could go down there 7 nights every year. Now, back in the 70s, my daddy worked in a factory. And I don't know if any of you have ever been factory workers or know anybody that has, but it used to be in the 70s and 80s, every factory in America shut down the same week every year, 4th of July. Every factory shut down, everybody went on vacation. So my dad bought a 4th of July week because he knew to always be off. We could go down there every year. I had 4 brothers and sisters, so there was 5 of us kids growing up. So my dad didn't want to be crammed into a little 1-bedroom. He spent a little extra money, and he bought a 2-bedroom timeshare. We went to that same unit. It was actually in building 7 up on the 8th floor. We had a beautiful view of the lake and some other stuff. Just cool. I can still picture the view to this day. And my dad bought one of the very first timeshare resorts ever. A beautiful place called the Orange Lake Country Club in Kissimmee, Florida. So we would go back there year after year after year and have wonderful family vacations. Now, a couple years after my dad did this, another company came along called Interval International. And they're an exchange company. There's 2 major ones, Interval International and RCI, that most people have heard of. The way they work is they don't own any resorts, but they're affiliated with several other timeshares. And if my dad doesn't want to go to Florida, he can take his week and trade it in for any of the ones they're affiliated with. And the way they make their money is they charge a fee to make a trade. In the U.S., it's typically like $150 to $200 to make a trade for a week. So, if my dad doesn't want to go to Florida one year, he can call up his exchange company, pay, $150, $170, and instead do a week in Vermont, or do a week in Oregon, or do a week in Southern California. This is pretty much everybody understands timeshare. Everybody knows or has seen. This is what it's been for 30 or 40 years. Fabulous product. Millions of American families own, use, and love it every single year. Just like this couple, probably none more so than my dad. But everybody always wants to break it back down to money. So I want to give you something to think about. My dad bought this week of timeshare in 1977. That's 35 years ago this year. The purchase price was $4,300. That means for $4,300, my dad has been able to take his family on 35 weeks of vacation in 5-star luxury. Does that sound like a good deal?
Yeah.
That's a killer deal. You can't do 5 weeks of vacation these days for that kind of money. He's done 35, and he's not done. Because he's going to get one this year, one next year, one the following year. And he's already told everybody in the family that he's going to hand this down to our little baby sister Leanne, her husband Chuck, and their 3 sons. And they're going to get to use it. That's a fabulous product. That's why I congratulate these families. They've done a wonderful thing for their 2 families. But the good thing about you guys being here at Festive today is we're going to make it even better. Because when you become an owner, remember I told you, we're going to give you the good stuff and let you own your vacation. We're going to take away the bad stuff. We're not going to tell you how to vacation. Because when you become a member today with the Festive Adventure Club, we're gonna let you go any number of nights that you wanna go. Just like you were saying, you wanted to break it up some, you wanna go 2 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights. You decide how long each and every vacation is. Matter of fact, you decide when the vacations are. And I mean from January 1st to December 31st. If you'd rather take a bunch of little vacations and sprinkle them in throughout the year, be our guest. Pick the room size you need when you take those vacations. Because if it's just the 2 of you, get a 1 bedroom. If you want to bring family or bring friends, get a 2, get a 3, get a 4 bedroom. As a matter of fact, we're not going to make you own one resort or exchange it with one company. We want you to truly be free to go anywhere you want. So when you become an owner today, you're going to own all 23 of our resorts, all 12 of our campgrounds. And you're going to be a member of our own internal exchange company called FTX. So you can exchange anywhere in the world you want to go, not with just one individual company. Yes, sir.
Well, what are you trading with? How does it work?
That's a great question. FTX has a little bit different business model. Like I said, RCI have been around for a long time. FTX is something we just rolled out last year, and it operates a little different. We don't limit you to just RCI properties or II properties. We limit you to, we don't have a limit, because now you have the ability to go to any timeshare property, any hotel, a lot of different places around the world. But that's a great question, and to give you a more specific answer would take a lot of time. And in the interest of time, be sure to ask your guest representative, and they'll either go over it or they'll get one of our inventory managers to cover that with you. Okay? But good question. So, let me ask you guys a question. Just a minute ago, I said, what you guys said is better owned than rent. That's what you told me, right? So if you were serious about that answer and you're serious about vacationing, which looks like the better way to own your vacation? A, the standard timeshare, or B, the festival? A or B?
B.
B. Say it again, A or B?
B.
All right, and you're right, it is. Let me show you why. When you own with us, we're not going to lock you into 1 week at a time. We're going to convert it into a vacation currency that you get each and every year. I'm going to use as an example what I own. Me and Susan own 6,000 points. So every year on January 1st, they deposit 6,000 points in our account. This year, next year, the following year, and it keeps on going. We don't get a week. That's what we get instead of the week. You don't have to do 6,000 points. You can do less, you can do more. Whatever amount you get, that's what you get every year instead of that week. Is everybody with me? Now when you travel, instead of using your week, you spend your points instead of your family's money. So if you were an owner with us today, let's say you wanted to come back here and stay here at Ellington Wachesaw for 5 days and 4 nights in a 3-bedroom spring break week. First off, think about what a 3-bedroom condo would cost your family in Myrtle Beach for the week of spring break. So everybody got that number in their head? Because here's what it costs me as an owner. $2,480 of my vacation points, no money. All Festiva does is deduct those points out of my account. And if I want to take another trip, let's say we want to go to Orlando, stay at the beautiful Blue Heron Resort, 5 days and 4 nights, in a 2-bedroom in the summertime. In the summertime, a 2-bedroom condo in Orlando. You guys all got that amount of money in your head what that would cost tonight? Because for our owners, it's only 1,920 points. No money comes out of your pocket. Is everybody kind of getting the hang of this? Now let's say that those are the only vacations you did today. You got 1,600 points left and you're done traveling. That's vacation time we didn't get, right? Right?
Right.
We don't lose that because with us, we just roll that right over next year, have extra travel time next year. If there's for some reason you don't vacation all 1 year, roll it all forward and have double the travel time next year. And then just keep on traveling. And the beauty with our program, if you want to let a friend or family use the program, we're going to let Brandon use this. And actually, next year he's already got the book trips. He's going to go to Blue Ridge Village for 8 days and 7 nights for a 1-bedroom January ski week. He's going to take his girlfriend Jessica. That vacation will cost them 2,100 points. They'll take that out of mine and Susan's account. Brandon won't have to pay anything at check-in. Does everybody get the idea how simple and easy this is to use? Does it make sense that if you get a, yes ma'am?
How many points can you roll over? How long?
You can roll the amount of points you own from 1 year forward to the next. So if you have 6 this year, we can roll them forward here and have 12, but I can only roll 6 forward from here.
How long are those good for?
They're good for this year and the following year.
Okay.
Okay? And then we've also got another thing, again, I don't want to get too deep into this. We've got another way that you can exchange them for up to 3 more years if you'd rather do that. Okay? So, what you can't do is not travel for 10 years, have 60,000 points, and show up with a moving van. Alright? But I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah.
Alright. make sense that if you want a bigger room, it's gonna take more points than a smaller room?
Yes.
If you want a higher demand time of year, it's gonna take more points than the off season?
Yes.
Weekend nights are gonna be more points than the middle of the week nights. All right, it's just now you're not using your money, you're using your points. Because you only pay for these one time. What I mean by that is I'll show everybody the price of 6,000 points here in about 20 minutes. If you write a check for it today, or if you finance it when you make the last payment, it's paid for, it's yours. But you continue to get the points from now on. Now, Butch and Don didn't stop here. Once they got this developed, they brought in people that owned other timeshares, that worked for other timeshare companies, people that consulted in the timeshare industry, and they said, how could we make this the best thing there is? Three things kind of came out of those meetings that kind of became the cornerstone of our program. The first thing people said is, well, we love that you have this in perpetuity. It can continue on and on forever. Leave it as a legacy, hand it down to your kids and grandkids. The second thing that came out of those meetings was kind of the opposite. People said, what if one day we don't want it anymore? What if we can't physically aren't able to travel? What if we don't have any kids to leave it to? What if we want to just be able to opt in and opt out as we choose? And then the third thing that came up, I think was kind of the neatest thing, was really just common sense. That people said, as we get older, we're probably going to travel more. That make sense to everybody? We hit our 50s, we're making more money, the kids are out of the house, we're going to travel more. We hit our retirement age, why do we all work so hard our whole life? So we can live it up when we retire, right? We want to be able to accelerate how much vacations we do as we get older and older. If there's any way you could incorporate all three of these together, you'd have the perfect program. So here's what the guys said. When you become an owner today, you're going to own going forward forever and ever. Forever. We're going to draw a line in the sand out here in 40 years. And in 40 years, you get to tell us, do you want to keep it or do you want out? If the answer is you want out, you can walk away free and clear. No fuss, no muss, no future obligation. Very few people will do that. Most people are either going to hand it down to their kids and grandkids, or they're going to turn around and sell it and get some of their money back out of it, right? But people like knowing that option is there. But for the 99% of the people that say, yeah, I'm going to keep it, then what we'll do is we'll just ask you once every 10 years. Do you still want it? Yeah. 10 more years? Do you still want it? Yeah. 10 more years, and so on and so on and so on. Does everybody see how that covers the first two? Well, check this out. The reason we did this first block of time in 40 years was for this acceleration. If you want to do extra vacations, more points than you normally have in any given year, we're going to let you use vacation time from the future. We're not going to make you borrow it from next year and then be in the hole next year. We're going to let you borrow it from the end of this first 40-year allotment. So if you said, hey, I want to do some extra vacations, we're going to let you grab the points from 40 years from now, bring them back, drop them in your account, and use them today. A year or two later, you want to do it again? Grab them from year 39. A year or two later, you want to do it again? Grab them from year 38. You're just moving that line back a year every time you do it. Okay? Guys, this is pretty much it. Do any of you have? Yes, sir.
I know that with Bonaventure, we had maintenance fees. Do you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I figured an owner would ask that. For those of you that aren't clear what he's talking about, a maintenance fee is a fee that you have to pay on something you own. It's basically upkeep. Like for homeowners. How many in here are homeowners? So you guys have property taxes, right? You have insurance, you got to re-roof the house every 10, 15 years. You got to pay a kid to mow in the summertime or you got to do it yourself. Am I right? Who pays for all that? You do, because you're the homeowner. Well, it's the same thing here. Only this isn't just one home. This is 23 beautiful resorts. It's 12 catamarans. But our company has something called hassle-free maintenance. We take care of everything. We pay all the bills. We pay all the fees, all the taxes, all the insurance, all the governmental charges. We do all the housekeeping, all the landscaping, all the maintenance, all the remodeling, all the refurbishing. So your time is just spent enjoying your vacation. You show up, you enjoy it, you go away, we take care of it all. But now you've got to pay for it. So we roll that out to all of our owners in a one-time a year annual maintenance fee. Now the amount of that fee is based on how many points you own. The more points you own, the more it is. The less points you own, the less it is. Does that make sense to everybody? It's a fair way to do it. The nice thing is you always know how much it is. It's always one time a year, and it's never any big hassle. Yes, sir.
Well, what's 6,000 points going to get our children 40 years from now? I mean, the 6,000 points going to be the same?
The points, the amount of points it takes to travel do not change. Okay? Everybody see the 2,480 points for that vacation I did? That's what it'll be 40 years from now. See the 1,920 points? That's what it'll be 40 years from now. Now people say, how is that possible? Because prices always go up, am I right? What changes is the price to buy the points. So when I got in 3.5 years ago, it was a lot less expensive than you're going to see today. But But the guy that gets in, waits and gets in 3.5 years from now, it's gonna be a lot more expensive than you're gonna see today. That's what changes. So you're actually locking inflation in and freezing inflation out for you and your family's vacations forever. Great question. Anything else? You guys are free to ask anything you want. Okay, I've got a question for you. Y'all came in here with an expectation of what I was going to show you. You thought you knew what you were going to see. Compared with what you expected to see and what we offered, how am I doing? Is this better than you expected or worse? Better. It's a lot better, isn't it? The only thing I got left to do is make it more better. Everything we're going to talk from here on out is why today is important. Okay? Every business, and this kind of goes to the question the gentleman asked me. Every business goes through different phases of development. In phase 1, you're just getting open and getting started. You go through a big growth and development phase, and then your success. I like to compare this to a subdivision. Everybody know what a subdivision is? Yes. Guy goes out and he buys like 100 acres, splits up into half-acre lots, and his goal is to sell off and make money. So let's say that you come along the very first day. He just bought this land yesterday. And he tells you what he's doing, you think it's a great idea, you want to buy the first lot. If you get in on the ground floor and buy that first lot, typically what kind of deal do you get?
Great deal.
You get a heck of a deal, don't you? And you deserve a heck of a deal because it's not even developed yet. You don't know if he's going to put the roads in, the underground electric, everything he's saying. He's going to probably offer you the most benefits just to get his first sale. He'll tell you that when you build his house, he'll pay for your kitchen cabinets and countertops. Everybody follow me? You guys, you say, I'm going to buy the lot, you get ready to sign the paperwork, you have that little panic in the back of your mind like I talked about earlier. You know, I better go talk to my accountant. I better talk to my attorney. I better talk to my financial advisor. I better talk to my dad. And you leave. Come back 2 years later. There's 20 beautiful homes in this subdivision. He sold about half the lots. And you still want one. What's the price going to be now?
A lot more.
It's going to be a lot more because he can get it because it's developed. But he's still in business to make money and sell lots. He's going to offer you some benefits. Only now instead of building out your kitchen, maybe he'll just pay your water tap on fee when you build a house. Everybody with me? Get ready to do the paperwork because you know it's a great deal. You still get that little panic in the back of your mind. I better wait. I better not rush into anything. I better see what else is out there. And you leave. So you come back 2 years later. He sold every lot but one. What's the price of that last lot going to be?
Way too much.
It's going to be ridiculous. Probably not even going to be affordable. And he's not even going to offer you any benefits because he doesn't care if it sells or not. It's the same thing here at Festiva. When we first opened up, 12 years ago, we had one building and one resort. Butch and Don were telling people what their dream was going to be. Those guys that came in back then, they got a much lower price than we're going to show today. They can throw in a lot more benefits on top of theirs. Okay? But now today, the benefit for you by being here is it's not one resort. It's 23 resorts. You can see it's a success. We have 70,000 owners that own, use, and love this every single year. We've still got a great price. We've still got great benefits. What does the future hold? We're going to continue to add more resorts. We get up to 30 or 40 resorts, the price is going to go up. They're already talking about even reducing benefits for new people that get in. Once you get in, everything's grandfathered in. But those new people that get in the future, they're not going to get as many, if any, at all. And they're even talking about within a couple of years going to what we call an owner-only line. In other words, we're only going to talk to owners and their friends and family, the people they refer to us. Remember I was talking about referrals earlier? We're not going to pay $400 to market people to bring them in. Because remember I said over half of our business now is coming from our referrals? We're about to the point we don't have to do that anymore. But the great thing for you guys today, we paid the $400. We brought you in here. We've just got a great price and great benefits. And when you think about the price, think about this. That guy that bought when we first opened 12 years ago, one day we're going to have 30 or 40 resorts. He's going to have access to all 30 or 40 resorts for the price he paid back then. You guys, one day we might have 50, 60, 100 resorts. Like I was talking to the young gentleman back here about his question. You're going to lock it in at today's price. You see what I'm talking about now? You're going to freeze inflation for you and your family forever and be able to take advantage of our growth. Now, when it comes to the benefits, that's the best part. This is Platinum Rewards. They have companies out there called vacation clubs. They'll actually bring you in and do a 90-minute presentation just on what I'm going to spend 2 minutes on right here. But basically, it's a club where if you like to cruise, if you want airline tickets, if you want hotels, you want rental cars, you want travel packages, they're going to get you discounts, okay? And it's not going to be just, 10 or 15% off like on Expedia. They advertise discounts as high as 40, 50, 60. I've even seen them as high as 70% off on travel-related stuff. Okay? When you go into one of these clubs for their presentation, they show you how it works over about 30 or 40, 50 minutes. And at the end, if you want to buy one, it's $6,990. Okay? What we've done for you as owners is we went out and bought one for our members. We went out and bought our very own for you to be able to use. Now, we wanted to make it flexible like our product, so we've actually designed a way where you not only can use it and take advantage of these great discounts, but if you didn't want to use your points one year to go to our resorts, you can actually deposit them on here and use them towards discounts on cruises. Use them towards discounts on experiential vacations. Okay? And the other thing, when you become an owner today, as long as you start out with 6,000 points or more, you're going to be a VIP. And we're going to give you access to what we call our corporate elite membership. This is going to be attached to your package. The first thing you're going to get is we're not going to charge you $69.90 for the Platinum Rewards. We're going to give it to you. It's $99 a year, but we're going to waive that for the first 2 years. After 2 years, if you want to keep it, it's $99 a year. If you don't want to keep it, you can walk away. Nobody ever walks away. Because if you want to rent a car for more than 3 or 4 days, it'll save you more than $99. You get on one of those travel excursions, you get on one of those cruises, you'll save your family tons of money. The next thing, if you start out with 6,000 points or more, if you're a VIP and have the corporate elite membership, we're going to throw in something called Adventure Time. If you want some extra vacations, but you don't want to use points, we're going to give you some adventure nights at our property, where you can come and stay without using points. Instead, you pay cash, you get up to 75% off the rack rate at all of our select Festiva resorts. You have unlimited access to this. So if you come here and the room's $400 a night, you pay only $100. If it's $200 a night, you pay only $50. And you get as many of those as you want when you're a corporate elite member. You can literally turn this into as much or as little vacation as your family would ever want to have. The next thing, you guys remember the maintenance fee this gentleman asked me about? Who would like to own this today and never pay a maintenance fee? Yeah, I thought you'd like that. Everybody that comes in here likes that idea. When you become an owner today, if you start out with 6,000 points or more, if you're a VIP and have this corporate elite, that can be a reality because we have a program called Share the Adventure. I've talked a lot in here about how important referrals have been to us building our business. We're going to make them important to you. When you become an owner today, we want your referrals. We want names and phone numbers of your friends, your family, people you work with, people you go to church with, your neighbors. Give them to us. We're going to call them up ourselves and bring them down here. Not going to do it through a marketing company. When they get here, we'll put them up for a night or two. We'll show them the program. For everyone you send, you get $100. Notice, I didn't say for everyone that buys. Everyone you send. If an owner had sent all 7 of these families, that'd have been $700 in their pocket right there. Now, if you don't want the money, we'll give you 500 points to travel on that year. Extra in your account for everyone you send. But either way, by taking advantage of this and having the corporate elite, if you ever pay the entire maintenance fee out of your family's pocket, shame on you. It's your fault. It means you're lazy. Get out a pencil, get out a piece of paper, write names. Heck, you can go online and do it on the internet now. You can sit at home and enter them and knock that out that way. That's a huge benefit that our owners love. The next thing that we have is our FTX Exchange membership. And again, we had a great question about the FTX. They'll cover it more in depth. But suffice it to say, the other exchange companies typically have a $200 or $300 fee to join. They typically have annual membership dues of $99, $100, and then they typically charge anywhere from $150 to $200 to make an exchange. Sounds like a lot of fees, doesn't it? What we're going to do is when you become an owner today with 6,000 points, if you're a VIP and you have that corporate elite membership, we're not going to charge you a fee to join the FTX. We're not going to charge you an annual fee. And wherever you want to exchange to, it doesn't matter if it's international or domestic, doesn't matter if you do it over the phone or over the internet, it's a flat rate of $117 for an entire week. $117 for the whole week. And then the last thing we have, if you start out with 6,000 points, if you're a VIP and a corporate elite member, and I want to make sure everybody in the room understands before I show this, this applies to you. There's always somebody in the room that thinks, no, he don't mean us. If you think that, then I definitely mean you. We offer guaranteed financing to everyone that starts out with 6,000 points or more. I don't care who you are, what your credit score is, what your checkbook looks like. If your family wants in on this, we have a way for you to be able to take advantage of it. And we've got some other stuff on there I'll let the reps touch on. We've got some relaxing retreats, some Let's Go vacations. If you're interested in more and more vacations or have it maxed out, be sure and ask the reps about those. Okay? I'm pretty much ready to wrap it up. Does anybody have any other last minute questions? Anything else you would need to know before you become an owner? Yes, sir.
You, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you're about 70,000 plus members?
Yes, sir.
With these points, I know that with my fixed week, they're building new resorts, and I'm having problems months.
Mhm.
I'm not in a very high demand area like it was when I first bought. How does the availability work? Do we have?
Again, that's a good question. Everything is based on availability. This is not a magic wand that's going to solve everything. If you want to come down here to the beach July 4th, don't pick up the phone July 1st. Because we're not going to have availability, but there's not going to be any on the streams. Everybody following? You know, if you would call ahead to book a hotel, call ahead to book us. You're going to be very satisfied. But when you get into the exchange part, and again, I'm going to let them handle this more out there, but remember, we don't just have one resort that used to be popular and isn't anymore. We have 23 resorts. We have 12 catamarans in high demand locations that people want to get to. And it gives us a lot of power, and that's why we've been able to break away from the exchange companies. Okay, great question. Anything else? All right. What you guys think about doing the group format? It's fun? And different, wasn't it? Did you guys like it?
Yeah.
All right, let's finish it really fun and exciting. Everybody pull your credit cards out and pass them forward. I was joking, but I was only half joking. Guys, here's the thing. I was really only half joking. I believe we should have 7 brand new owners in here. I really do. I want to tell you why. Think about this. As we talked this afternoon, or this morning for a few minutes, you guys said it was better to own than rent, right? That's what you said.
Yes.
You guys said that Festiva was better than standard timeshare. And you're right, it is, right?
Yes.
And you guys also said since the very beginning, you understood that today was the best price and the best benefits. So I've been a little cute and said you should own Festiva today. But this is what it really comes down to right here. It's all about your family. It's about the quality time and the commitment you guys have to each other to be like this, smiling and happy. If these are all the reasons, you know, logically you should buy it, but if you ran into me outside of work, if I didn't have this name tag on, and I was in a restaurant up here at Fridays, you came in and you said, hey Mike, you own Festiva. What's so great about it? I wouldn't have told you anything that I showed you up here. Instead, I would have told you about two different trips. Like I said, me and Susan met probably about 5 years ago. We were looking. I asked her to marry me, and I was lucky enough that she said yes last September. The day after our wedding, we got a rental car. And we drove to Memphis. Stayed in Memphis that night. Got the next morning. Spent the entire day at Graceland. We left Graceland, went through Arkansas, Oklahoma City. We stopped in Oklahoma City down at the stockyards. Had the biggest steak I've ever seen in my life. We drove through Texas. We drove through New Mexico. Stayed the night in New Mexico. Went to Arizona. Stayed at the south rim of the Grand Canyon. Actually stayed inside the park, where our hotel was actually looking out the windows over the side of the Grand Canyon. Spent 3 nights there. Drove around took about half a day to drive around to the north rim of the canyon, where it's more campgroundish. But we stayed there a couple of nights. We left there. We headed up north through Utah. Saw the Monument Valley, which is just, I mean, we have an absolutely gorgeous country. You got to get out there and see it. We drove up into Wyoming. Did 3 days at Yellowstone. Left Yellowstone, headed back east. We ended up coming back through South Dakota. We did a couple days in the Black Hills. We saw the Washington Monument. We saw the Crazy Horse Monument. We headed up to Michigan to see her family for a few days. Drove back down through Indiana, saw some people in my family. Suffice to say, we took 2 weeks. We put 7,800 miles on a rental car. We saw 17 different states. We had the most amazing honeymoon I've ever had in my entire life. And I was able to do that for my beautiful bride, you know, the woman I love most in the world. I could have never done it without this. Because through this program, I was able to do it for less than the cost of her wedding dress. To have that amazing honeymoon. You know, and I love Susan. And as the day we got married, Brandon became my son too. And Brandon's been dating this girl named Jessica about a year now. And they're starting to get kind of serious. So me and Susan know the day's coming soon. He's going to come and tell us they're getting married. Think about that. When Brandon gets married, he's going to be able to look at his mother and father and say, I'd love to take Jessica to Barbados for a honeymoon. I'd love to go to Jamaica. I'd love to go to Fiji. It doesn't matter where on this beautiful planet the Lord's made for us he picks. Our answer is already yes. You know, as a husband, as a father, what do you think those 2 vacations are worth to me? What are they worth? They're absolutely priceless. They're worth everything. You know what's really funny? They're definitely worth what I paid to buy this program a little over 3.5, 4 years ago. If I never used it again. But that's how hotels and motels and condo owners want you to think, guys. They want you to think 1 vacation, 1 price. What we're saying is 1 price, all your vacations. Okay? And we're going to finish up the guest room. I'll open the door. The guest rooms, they're going to pick you up. They're going to customize this for you, answer any individual questions you have, show you the beautiful property. We're going to come back, sit down, and talk money. But do me a favor while they're doing that. Ask yourself 2 questions. Just not even out loud, just ask in your own mind. If these two questions, you'll know what to do today. Ask yourself, what's my family worth and what's my family deserve? You guys have been an excellent audience. Thank you, and God bless every single one.